Hello there, friends. Happy New Year. Hope you had a really fun celebration, and I hope that your year so far is going well. I personally cried to my parents enough for them to feel bad for me and actually come to Ottawa and celebrate with me. Reason why they typically don't do it is because it's more expensive for my entire family to fly somewhere. It's just easier to buy me a ticket. But this year I couldn't do it, and I was under the impression that I will celebrate New Year's alone, which for every Eastern European viewer, you know that that is absolutely unacceptable. So I cried to my parents enough, and they came. So I had a pretty good Christmas and New Year's, just kind of trying to navigate the chaos of my family and trying to not make them absolutely bored out of their mind in Ottawa. The last few months of 2023 have honestly been absolute hell on earth. So I'm honestly quite relaxed right now. I still haven't really started school and I am still in break mode. And I feel a little better now. So I thought maybe I'll finally sit down and record a video because I haven't done that in a very, very long time. Truth is, I have all the footage. Recording isn't the problem, it's the whole editing that really stumps me, and the speaking to you guys. I'm sorry about that, but here I am. Let's see how long I can actually stick to it. I think my 2024 resolution is to actually become a functional adult and put effort into the things I do. But I say that every year, and I never actually pull through. But that's a conversation for another time. For this video, I wanted to share just something I really noticed in the past few months, and that is the dark side of making money out of your art. As some of you know, it is my dream to make art for a living, or at least was, until I just got that mindset that I'll never make it. Again, that's conversation for another time. But yeah, it has been my dream to make a living through my art, and I didn't really care how. I could be an illustrator, or I could be an animator, or I could do concept art. I wanted to join the video game industry for a while. I got the opportunity to do a comic, even got the opportunity to potentially do a coloring book. Basically anything. My goal is to do what I love for a living because that is my talent, that is my passion. And I finally got some opportunities last year to get that. Obviously on a pretty small scale, not to the point that I can quit my job now or drop out of school, but I got a few commissions that are really big and paid me pretty well. But there have been some downsides to that, and that's exactly what I'd like to talk about in this video. Take this as a bit of a cautionary tale, or maybe more of like a warning, the thing that people don't really talk about. What I'm working on this video is actually one of those projects that I got paid for. It is another album cover plus illustration book for Milana Zilnik, who has been a really amazing supportive ally for so many years. I've done plenty of album covers for them already. And if you haven't checked out their music, what are you doing? Go. I will link her Spotify or Apple Music down below. Please go. It's very nice, very calming, atmospheric, and this album actually has a story to tell. But I'll let you in on a little secret about this specific project. I've been working on it since April of last year. So like April of 2023, that's when I was commissioned. That's when I started brainstorming and sketching and collecting ideas, okay? I finished at around August. April to August. Okay, that is like what, 3-4 months? And the album was released in October. And nobody ever canceled like my normal job. So I would do my job in the summer, and then I was also in school during the summer. And then I would have whole evenings dedicated to this project. Sometimes even sleepless nights. I could not sleep. Could not sleep. I don't know why, but just it stressed me out so much. Now that sounds like complaining, but keep in mind, this commission did pay my rent for like 2 months. So I was compensated very fairly. But the dark side of it is that I had no life for a whole summer. And I could probably like chuck it aside and say like, oh yeah, it's because I have all of these other things to do, right? If I actually made a living out of art, this wouldn't be such a problem. Which I can see that. I can see that as a good argument. And honestly, I don't know what it's like to only do art for a living because, as I said, I still had to work and I still had to go study. But that is just something I would like to point out as a creative person. Sometimes you have to do all of these things all at the same time and you give up your life in a way. Like I didn't have that many date nights with my boyfriend. I neglected my cat. She didn't get the attention she deserves. I honestly sometimes would listen to my Zoom lectures for school and paint at the same time because I didn't have the time to really focus on one or the other. I had to do them both. And even though I did my damn best to improve my time management skills, it still didn't really work out that well. So what I'm trying to say here, my point here is that it takes a lot. It takes a lot from you to really, really dedicate yourself to a project like that. And that was, like, I owned Bilana, like 13 illustrations, if I remember correctly. 13 or 14. Like an illustration for each song in the album. So I worked for like 3 to 4 months tirelessly to make 13 illustrations. And that just took so much energy and mental load on me that I could not really do anything else. And even if time wasn't the problem was the energy, because I did not have the energy to really do anything else. The other, I would say, dark side of this is the fact that I couldn't share any of it with you guys. As I said, the album was released in October, and I was working on it since April. And now it's January of 2024. The fact that only now I'm making this video is my fault. But that time frame between April to October, that is just like, that is time that I could not show what I'm working on. That is time where my social media goes completely silent. That is time where I don't post stuff on my Patreon. That is time where I don't make any personal art. And I have nothing to show you guys. And as a result, my engagement goes down and my social media suffers quite a bit. Now, if you are a professional artist, you probably can just show your previous project, but for me that wasn't really that way, because I did not have anything like back in the back catalog. I only had this project, this big commission that I've been working on for 4 months and didn't really have the time and energy to do anything else. And as a result, I just like go completely silent. And that's bad. It's bad because the social media algorithm just forgets you, chucks you aside, like throws you in the trash. And it already is really bad for artists. But like if you're an active artist, like good luck, you're done. And it's like bad in terms of my interaction with you guys because you don't get anything from me. I can't talk about it, I can't show it because the album hasn't been released yet. When you work on a big project like that, it's really not only up to you to control it, it's up to the client. And if the client tells me you can't show it until 5 months from now, well, like that's it. Like you're stuck with that. That is the problem with commercial projects like that. Sometimes I had like a gift commission, right? When I would have to wait for the person to receive the commission first and then I can actually post it on my social media. But that typically isn't like that long. The wait is maybe up to a month. But this one, the wait was like 5 months. 5 months that I couldn't really show anything new. And if you remember, I showed a bunch of old stuff during that time, and I did like Comic-Con and I did like some other stuff, but I couldn't really show the current art I'm working on. So that is another like pretty annoying part about making money out of your art. And funny enough, the moment I finished this commission for Milana Zilnik, I got another one, commercial commission, that probably I won't be able to show for next year because the product this was for isn't going to be released anytime soon. So as a result, I have this almost year of no activity, of nothing to show. The reason why my YouTube channel is dead right now isn't necessarily that I'm not making art. I'm just not making art that I can show. And it's kind of frustrating. Like, I'm very, very grateful that I made money from this. Extremely grateful. And I don't want to give the impression that I am not filled with gratitude for this amazing opportunity. But I would be a liar if I said that everything is sunshine and rainbows. There are some sacrifices that have to be made if you actually want to make a living out of your passion. Which brings me to point 3, kind of connected to everything else. I didn't make any personal art in like 6 months. Like, at all. Nothing. And I feel so hollow as an artist. I feel unauthentic, and I just feel like I haven't expressed myself very well in a very long time. I had a paid commission, and then another paid commission, and then I have school projects, which luckily, since I'm fourth year, I actually have some control over what I'm painting for school. But I wanted to like draw fairies doing aerial arts for months now. Ever since I started like my own pole and aerial journey, I wanted to like somehow combine this passion with art as well. And I have this idea in the back of my mind for months now, but I just could not get to it at all. From a combination of things, lack of time, lack of energy, and the fact that the very little energy I have left, I have to dedicate it to my paid projects or my school project, the things that are just more urgent. And that's kind of what happens when you make money out of your art. The things that are for you, they go in the back burner. They're not urgent anymore, they're not as important anymore. And you have to really think about the client first and yourself second, which can be really hard for a creative person because everything we do is very, very personal. I remember back when I still followed Lord Gris on Instagram, who is a very, very successful artist. They went on this short rant about how for them to make traditional art, like with acrylic or watercolors, is a luxury. Is really a luxury. That's what they do when they have free time, which is why they make a traditional painting maybe twice a year max. Everything else has to be quickly done, quickly sketched, and then digitally altered in order to make more products, more posts, more stuff, more and more and more. They really had to focus on quantity over quality because that's what was good for their business. And to make traditional art, that was a luxury. That was the fun stuff. And now, after this really difficult summer, I feel their frustrations so much. It really is such a luxury to do art for yourself when you are a professional creative. Having said that, I really don't want to make this impression that I'm trying to discourage you from pursuing your passion for a living. Not at all. And me personally, despite all of these frustrations and all of these really achy moments, I am so grateful that I had this opportunity. I made enough money to buy myself a car from an art commission. Do you know how that feels? That is such an achievement for me. I am still barely an adult trying to gain independence, trying to pay my own rent, pay my own tuition, get my own stuff done, getting on my own 2 feet. And to have this opportunity to actually make money doing the thing I'm good at, doing the thing I love so much, that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm so grateful that I finally reached a point when that stuff is starting to happen. But to anybody out there who wants to make a living doing your art, please, be careful and really consider, really consider, think, do you have the patience? Do you have what it takes to really handle all of this pressure on yourself, pressure from your clients, pressure to make money? Because the moment there's payment involved, at least for me, I immediately feel like I owe someone all of my effort, especially if it's like for a creative work. That is a lot of pressure. And that's something that really stressed me out for this entire summer. You really gotta think, do I have what it takes? Right now, unfortunately, art kind of became this tedious thing that I really don't want to touch. I found that I enjoy much more like sewing, for example, or dancing. I found that my self expression is coming from other means, and art is just that methodical thing that I did for money a couple times or for school. I get out of it other things that are not expression or creative satisfaction. And I really hope that, like, my goal is to kind of get back the passion that I had for art. And maybe I'll just like chill with commissions for a little bit, or only take commissions that do fit into my style. Like the last one fit very nicely. Just to kind of try to remedy this feeling of hollowness, this feeling of not being satisfied with the things I do, because I've been struggling with it quite a bit. And yeah, I totally blame the fact that I'm trying to make a career out of art for that. Not that I want to give up, since I'm working pretty damn hard to get here. But you really gotta find the balance, and I'm still trying to find it. Still really trying to find kind of a work-life balance, not making work my entire life, not making life my work. It's a very difficult one, and from what I understand, it takes people years to get there. But these are the lessons that I learned so far. And I think this is a pretty good topic for me to come back to YouTube and try to be a little better at this whole thing. Thank you so much for listening. I know this was kind of short, a bit ranty, but hopefully you found this video interesting, entertaining, useful, whatever it is you get out of YouTube videos. Please go check out Milana Zilnik's album, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.